Well then, from the official Tesla account on X, a Delaware activist pretending to be a judge just overruled a supermajority of Tesla shareholders who own Tesla and who voted twice to pay Elon Musk what he's worth. The court's decision is wrong, and we're going to appeal. This ruling, if not overturned, means that judges and plaintiffs' lawyers run Delaware companies rather than their rightful owners, the shareholders. This in relation to Elon Musk's 2018 CEO compensation package that incentivized insane, incredible, almost impossibly good performance that Musk managed to nail. Cathie Wood comes out swinging. Based on her Tesla ruling, the extremely corrupt activist pretending to be a judge, Kathleen McSeebohm, is an activist judge at its worth. See, imagine that. Can't even finish reading her posts. I've been calling her a corrupt activist pretending to be a judge because she is, and amazingly, Cathie Wood has also identified this. I'm going to read this again. Based on a Tesla ruling, DA Judge McCormack is an activist judge at its worst. No judge has the right to determine CEO compensation. Shareholders voted twice, overwhelmingly each time, to ratify Elon Musk's 2018 performance-based pay package. She will lose this fight in the Supreme Court. I stand by my original response supporting Tesla and Elon, which was, I believe the Delaware court decision forcing Tesla to void the March 2018 vote on Elon Musk's performance-based pay package is un-American, an assault on investor rights, and an insult to the board of directors of one of the most stunningly successful companies in US history. Mic drop moment. Now, I actually agree this will be overturned in the Supreme Court. It's absolutely insane. But the purpose of this decision is simply to score political points because Elon bad, billionaire bad. Elon biggest billionaire, therefore Elon biggest bad. Let's go after the guy. It's insane. And another completely unnecessary distraction just goes to show that political ideology has turned some portions of the US, some supposed judges who are really activists, much of the political machine, batshit insane. This is crazy. I mean, I covered it at the time. It's absolutely absurd. How dare this wench overrule the will of Tesla shareholders, who twice now voted overwhelmingly in support of this. Fuck her. Elon Musk responds, shareholders should control company votes, not judges. I agree. Imagine that. Some more discussion. First, from Ashley St. Clair. The Delaware court's decision to block Elon's pay package is a direct threat to the future of capitalism from a rogue activist judge. Agreed. This was reposted with a caption. The fact that some activist judge can force a company to act contrary to their shareholders' vote is insane. Sure fucking is. And Musk, I feel like I've heard this somewhere before. She is an activist posing as a judge. Well, fancy that, I agree. And James the Goat Stevenson had this to say. Some are asking me why I'm so certain that the Delaware Supreme Court will overturn Kathleen McSeebohm's ruling against Tesla and Elon Musk's 2018 compensation package that was approved by Tesla shareholders again earlier this year. If you're unconvinced, listen to this podcast from 6 months ago and then tell me why there's any chance the Supreme Court will let her open Pandora's box. Now, much like James, I'm extremely confident this will be overturned on appeal. It's too fucking insane not to. But the purpose here from Kathleen McSeebohm wasn't actually to get this ruling locked in and fuck Elon. It was to just sling mud, distract, tarnish, slow the guy down, and be a dick, a spanner in the works. Because Elon bad, billionaire bad. This only ends one way. It gets overturned. I have a lot of faith in the legal system. Maybe not at the activist judge level, but Supreme Court, bro, come on. It's getting overturned. So I'm going to play this clip in full. The BG2 podcast, Brad Gersner recently dumped his Uber stock. What am I saying, man? I need to get more sleep. Recently dumped his Uber stock to load up on Tesla due to the massive disruption happening with autonomy, measures $20 billion. Brad Gersner and Bill Gurley, two very successful investors with big brains, explaining why this is absolutely insane and their thoughts. And I'll wrap up here, but this is important context. I'm on the same page as these guys and James. It's a distraction, but 99.9999999942069% chance this gets overturned upon appeal.
A couple weeks ago, the state of Delaware, the Chancery Court, this judge, Kathleen McCormack, she, pretty shockingly struck down Elon's 2018 pay package. Remember, the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. They basically cut a pay package with him where he took nothing if the company didn't improve. But if the company hit certain targets, he would get paid out, 1% tranches of options, I think over 12 tranches, which because the company, had this extraordinary turnaround, he achieved his goals. So now she's kind of Monday morning quarterbacking. She's looking back and she says his pay package is unfathomable. And she says the board never asked the $55 billion question, Bill. Was it even necessary to pay him this to retain him and to achieve the company's goals? So, of course, this can be appealed to the Delaware Supreme Court, and it will be. But, in response to this, Elon and I think many others just said, hold on a second here. What the hell just happened? The state of Delaware has had this historical advantage in corporate law because of its predictability. And its predictability wasn't because of the code, but it was because the judiciary, right? There was a lot of precedent in the state of Delaware, and this seemed to turn that totally on its head. He said he was going to move, incorporation to the state of Texas. We're starting to see, other companies follow suit and other people talking about this. So what was your reaction, seeing, something that was, I think most of us thought was highly unlikely and pretty shocking?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's super important for everyone to pay attention to this. I don't actually think it's just an outlier event. I think it's so unprecedented in Delaware's history that it really marks a moment for everyone to pay attention. And there's a couple of things I would pay attention to. One data point you left out, which came up recently, is the lawyers that pursued this case are asking for $5 or $6 billion in payment. And it turns out when you bring a derivative suit in Delaware, there have been cases where people ask for a percent and the judge gets to kind of decide that. And,
incredible.
If you step back and look, this is a victimless crime. And I think that's the thing that makes Delaware look like a kangaroo court here. Everyone knows the lawyer grabbed someone that only had 9 shares. And those 9 shares went way up, but it's kind of silly because it's so small anyway. So how could a client with 9 shares lead to a multi-billion-dollar award to a lawyer? And that's only true if you've created a bounty hunter system, a bureaucratic bounty hunter system. There's something in California called PAGA that's kind of evolved this way. And if that's the new norm in Delaware, that's really, really concerning. The other thing that's different here is the stock went way, way up. So I think we've all become accustomed to when stock prices going down, these litigators, grab a handful of shareholders and bring a shareholder lawsuit, and we're like, oh yeah. Unfortunately, that's become a way of life. But to attack companies that go way up, I would. 2 things. One, I would offer this pay package. I looked at it in detail to any CEO I work with, and I think they would all turn it down because there's no cash, no guarantee. And the first tranche was a 2x of the stock. So that's fantastic. I think the biggest problem with compensation packages, and you may tackle that some other day, is a misalignment with shareholders. Totally. Where people are getting paid when the stock doesn't move. That's what RSUs do. And
by the way, that's the standard in corporate America. We have this grift where people make a ton of money and the stock doesn't do anything. Look at the pay package for Mary Barra at GM.
So the first tranche here was if the stock doubled. And I would offer that to anyone. I would also say if any other CEO took a package like this, in a public company, I would be very encouraged to consider buying a lot of it.
Totally.
And so it may be like one of the most shareholder aligned incentive packages ever, which is exactly what you would think Delaware courts would be looking after, and ISS as well, which is a whole nother subject. But so I think it's just really bad. And it does show a new side of Delaware, one that they haven't shown before, and so I think everyone has to pay attention.
Right. No, I mean, it's shocking. And if I was a corporate lawyer in my first life, as you know, if you actually go and look at the actual corporate law code in the state of Delaware, right? It's almost word for word the same as Texas, the same as California, and so on. The point here is it's not that Delaware has code, a legal code around corporations that's so much different than every other state. What has set it apart is it has way more legal precedent, way more trials that have occurred and judges who have interpreted that in a way that is very shareholder aligned, shareholder friendly. So the big,
and they're known for letter of the law. So the construction.
Correct. And so here we have a moment. And the reason it's so shocking is because it's at odds with all of the precedent that people had come to expect. So I think there are going to be...
We left out they had 70% shareholder approval. I mean, and there's a low probability event that happened to happen. And you can't look at that after the fact and say, oh, it was obvious this was going to happen, Right.
I think that, if this stands, so I imagine corporations right now are in holding patterns, right? Elon is moving, reincorporating in Texas. I think a lot of other corporations will stay pending the Delaware Supreme Court appeals ruling, right? If they overturn this judge's ruling, then I think you may be back to the status quo in the state of Delaware. But if they uphold the ruling, and deny, I think Elon said, despite all the goodness that's occurred, saving the company from bankruptcy, this means he effectively gets paid zero for the last 5 years. It's such an outlandish outcome. So if it gets upheld, I expect you're going to see significant flight from the state of Delaware by people reincorporating in these other states that, frankly, are pretty friendly as well.
Brad, I just thought of something. So if it's upheld and if these lawyers are paid anything as a percentage, anything other than maybe just their hourly fee. So if those two things happen, I would make the argument that every company in Delaware has to move to a different domicile because they could be sued in a future derivative lawsuit for the risk they've taken by staying in Delaware.
Oh my God, you're so right. You are so right. Oh, mic drop on that. They so now on the boards that I sit on, I have to warn them that if they stay in the state of Delaware, then they're knowingly and negligently taking on this incremental risk.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Bill makes a very good point. If this were upheld in the Supreme Court, the destructive consequences of opening Pandora's box, holy fuck. So in short, I'm personally not at all concerned about this, other than the fact that anyone is willing to be such an extremely politically motivated, brazenly corrupt activist pretending to be a judge in the first place. This is obviously politically motivated, obviously ideologically motivated, completely unjust, to stain on the supposed justice system. That concerns me. But like I said, I expect this will be overturned. I'm not concerned. But the fact that Kathleen McSeebohm has once again despicably spat in the face of Tesla shareholders, it's unforgivable. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail, legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? Hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.